Hello, my name is Deborah Warrison, and today I have prepared a presentation in regarding to Peloton's potential customer. So I'm going to share my screen and show this presentation. So for this presentation, I have done my research in figuring out a different potential customer aside from the potential customer that was previously researched, as we know, as Sarah. And I took a different take for this user. And let's go ahead and go into the research. So the summary of my research was I found that as of May 2020, 49% of Peloton users were female and 43% were male. So although majority were female, the percentage for male is still very significant. And that's why I decided to go ahead and do my potential customer as a male. And moving forward to the age demographic, the largest percentage of Peloton users based on their age was 35 to 44. And I decided to go with this age demographic for my user. And then moving on to the household income. So household income is an important demographic to take into consideration for Peloton because Peloton is quite expensive. It ranges from, or the starting price is around $1,200. So it's definitely important to consider the income of our potential buyer. And as of 2020, the share of Peloton bike users by household income, the largest percentage was 38, and that was for 50K to 100K. And moving on to the user intentions. So Peloton was something that boomed in popularity during 2020, which was when we experienced the COVID-19 pandemic and we were all forced into a quarantine. So a lot of people were struggling to still work out, find a way to stay healthy. And so they invested in Peloton, a bike that you can have in your home and work out at your convenience. However, now that we've sort of moved past the quarantine and we've kind of learned how to live with COVID-19, things have been reopening, the gyms are reopened. Users of Peloton have started supplementing it with their regular gym memberships or group fitness activities. So for my user persona, I actually based it off of one of the most popular Peloton instructors. His name is Cody. And with Cody, I decided to take some elements of his real life as well as adding in some fictional elements. So Cody is a proud millennial, born on the West Coast, raised in the South, and now residing on the East Coast. He lives in a single family home in New York City with his husband and their 3-year-old daughter. Cody is a director of marketing and communications for Deloitte, a business consulting and services company. In Cody's free time, he loves to explore the world through travel and finds peace by practicing meditation. Additionally, he is a former professional dancer and strives to engage in physical activity that will bring his energy up. So this all fits perfectly with what a potential Peloton user would be. So I decided that him having a director role would be the most suitable, especially director of marketing and communications. Their salaries can range from anything to 69K to 160K. So it fits in perfectly with the income demographic who are already using Peloton. And also he is a former professional athlete because he was a dancer and he wants to continue to participate in activity that's going to be very high energy and very motivational. So for his goals, he wants to start incorporating at-home fitness into his lifestyle, and he wants to, of course, stay fit through high energy physical activity, but he also wants to participate in both social and motivational exercise. So the frustrations that he is currently experiencing is having a diverse workout routine. We all know that once we develop a routine, it becomes redundant. And for him, he really wants to ensure that he has different classes that he can take and do different activities, and it's not always the same thing. And with Peloton, that's exactly what you can get. So that would be perfect for him. Another frustration is that he doesn't have, or he might not have, enough free time at home to use the Peloton bike. This could be a potential barrier as he is married, he has a full-time job, and he has a daughter who's under the age of 5, which can be very time consuming to take care of. Also, the other frustration that could potentially be faced to Cody is that it's a solo workout. Peloton is more of a solo workout. You're not surrounded by people. You don't really meet up with anybody. And because Cody is such a social person, this could be a potential frustration for him. And this also moves into our personality traits. So looking here, Cody is highly extroverted and he is more of a feeling. He values the feeling over the thinking and values sensing over intuition. And for judging, it's a bit almost in between the two. So for his motivation, incentive is actually not a huge motivation for him because the passion to work out and to engage in physical activity is already something that's within him. And there is no fear for that either. However, growth, he definitely wants to grow. He wants to diversify himself in terms of his exercise and power. He wants to be able to hold more strength and social. He's an extrovert, so he loves to be around people. And looking at his top 3 characteristics, we have courageous, confident, perseverant. These all relate to his character trait, which is the hero, and that defines him perfectly. And for brands, the brands that he currently supports that are related to Peloton are Gatorade Fit. So Gatorade Fit is a newly launched initiative from Gatorade, which is specifically for people who strive to be fit. They want to have a good energizer as they're working out. And of course, we all know Adidas, they have athletic wear, as well as Ivy Park has athletic wear, which is perfect for when you're working out using the Peloton. Chobani Complete is also a new initiative by Chobani where they have shakes that are highly energizing, which would be perfect for somebody utilizing the Peloton bike. And so for Cody's preferred channels, he does view traditional ads on a regular basis, although he would prefer to view them online or through social media. But for the most part, he values word of mouth marketing and referrals. He would love to hear from his friends that are also using the Peloton bike. And with that, he would feel more confident in purchasing. Guerrilla efforts and PR are also effective, but overall referrals would be the most suitable for Cody. Looking at his customer journey, so in terms of awareness for the activity, as previously mentioned, Cody, he would prefer that this was referred to him, somebody told him about Peloton bike, or that he viewed an ad online or through social media. The motivations for this are to enhance his lifestyle. He's highly interested in this Peloton bike, and the barriers to this could be indirect competitors, such as the gym itself. And looking at the consideration, the activities for that are that he would research details online, he would look at reviews, he highly values reviews, and his motivation is to find an at-home fitness product. So for him, he does want to incorporate that at-home fitness in his lifestyle. He's curious about this as he's considering it. He's also considering the amount of space it would take up in his home. As previously mentioned, he's living with two other people. So it's important that these other people have enough space and that this Peloton bike wouldn't be taking up anyone's space. So for purchase, the activity, buy to try. So thankfully, though Peloton is expensive, they do offer a 30-day trial. And with that, you can try out the product for free. If you don't like it, you get a refund and they will pick up the product for you. So it's no money that you're really spending. Ultimately, that gives you enough time to really decide if the product is for you. The motivation to purchase is, as previously mentioned, it's convenient. It's a way to stay fit and be in a convenient situation. And he's excited to purchase. The barriers to purchase is the financial commitment. So with Peloton, you could purchase in full, or you could do the monthly fee, which is what most people do. So with the monthly fee or monthly payment, there's a bit of a commitment to that. And some people, for instance, Cody may be reluctant to commit to a monthly fee when he has other things to consider, like his 3-year-old daughter. What if something comes up? So that's always something to think of as a barrier when deciding to purchase. And for retention, the monthly subscription also plays into that retention for the activity. So because the person has purchased, they are committed to this monthly subscription in a way, they've already been retained by the brand. And in terms of motivation, we know that Cody, he wants high energy, he wants variation of his fitness classes, and that's exactly what Peloton has. He is extremely eager to take on this challenge of trying out new Peloton classes. The only barrier with that, also related to purchase, is the fixed monthly cost. So when somebody commits to a monthly cost and it's fixed, it might be hard to keep them just because there's no discount or maybe like a month off. It's always the same monthly costs that they have to pay. So gathering, evaluating, and using customer data. Within the Peloton bike itself, it comes with this huge monitor, and in this monitor, you are able to include all of your customer data relating to your health, your age, and it connects to your Apple. For example, if you have an Apple Watch, you can connect all of that. It tracks how often are you using the Peloton bike? At what times are you using the Peloton bike? Are there certain days where you prefer not to use the bike? So it's tracking all of this information discreetly, and most users would definitely not feel as though the way that Peloton tracks data is invasive. And with this data, we can evaluate how our users are interacting with the classes. We could also improve our classes, provide a more variation in our classes, and also determine a better set of buyers, determine who's using it to know who we need to market to. Lastly, avoiding potential ethical challenges. So we are all aware of the Peloton wife ad, which was very controversial. Um, Personally, after watching the ad, I actually didn't see the controversy behind it or what the issue was. But however, reading comments like these, seeing social media posts regarding the ad itself, you can sort of see why there would be a bit of an issue with the ad. So there's 4 questions to consider when you are aiming to avoid potential ethical challenges. So, first question, are you punching up? Punching up, it essentially means, are you poking fun at something in a way where it could potentially be offensive? That's definitely something to consider. And that relates to question number 2. Is this appropriate? Could this be considered offensive? Number 3, what does my brand add to this subject? So for each brand, even if there is a topic that is trending, it doesn't mean that you need to jump in on the conversation. For example, it might not always pertain to your brand, and so you don't always have to join in on the conversation. And number 4, could my message be misconstrued? So this definitely applies to the Peloton wife ad. So I'm sure that those who came up with this ad, wrote the storyboard, filmed it, edited it, produced it, they probably saw nothing wrong with it. However, they should have considered the fact that this message could have very well been misconstrued. We see a husband buy a exercise bike for his wife. Yes, it seems like a very nice gift for his wife. It seemed like she was very excited to receive it. However, you could also think of it as maybe he's trying to tell her something. Maybe he's trying to say that she needs to lose weight. So here, number 4, could my message be misconstrued? Yes, it definitely could. And moving forward for Peloton, I think an interesting ad that they could utilize for the future is to sort of compete with their indirect competitors, which are the gyms. Now that we have been accustomed to the pandemic and opened the gyms back up, they have to retain customers and bring in new customers. What is the incentive to get a Peloton bike versus just going to the gym and going on the bikes over there? So, in a future ad, they could potentially show a customer who usually goes to the gym, but perhaps their alarm didn't go off and they've lost the time to go to the gym, and then they decide to just hop on their Peloton bike. I think that would be a very strategic ad to consider and promote for the future. And of course, while considering these 4 questions. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. These are my references. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. It was a pleasure presenting this to you, and I hope you consider this different user persona. Thank you.